You're listening to Tomcat Radio. Conversations with creatives, pioneers, and those that get shit done. I'm your host, Tomcat, founder of the design and media studio, Tomcat Atelier. For most of my life, I found myself at the right place at the right time, conversating with individuals that have inspired me to be a better businesswoman, artist, and a better human in general. So if those are the conversations you're looking for, you've come to the right place. Being the daughter to a San Francisco punk dad and rocker mom, I'd have these fever dreams as a little girl about Los Angeles and Sunset Boulevard while watching the VH1 Top 20 countdown in my living room. I'd envision the artists that inhabited LA, my brain developing these casts of characters of who they were, what were they wearing, and what dream did they set out to achieve. Well, a little over a year ago, after having nestled into LA myself, one of these characters materialized at a mutual friend's birthday party. This woman was Rae, one of the front vocal leads of the LA-based band Rosecoloredworld. Whom she'd started with her boyfriend Addison. When I walked outside of the party and saw them, I immediately thought I was having a vision of the new age Jack and Megan from the White Stripes. Except instead of personifying Megan's shy, melancholy mannerisms, Rae was quite literally a ray of fucking sunshine. A ray of sunshine rocking heavy eyeliner, jet black hair with a mullet chop haircut, bright white smile, and a bombshell of a babe. In my time of living in LA, there have been a few moments where the world around me stops, and I experience this visceral feeling, similar to when you discover a new character in a video game. I had discovered a woman in LA that I knew I would meet all along. I soon came to find out that, in the words of my mother, Rae is a badass bona fide woman. A daughter of a drummer and fellow Floridian from Fort Lauderdale, Rae made her home in LA after many trips of visiting her best friend and a transformative trip to Burning Man. Fast forward to today, Rosecoloredworld has toured the country, starred in commercials, opened for Sum 41, and signed to a new record label while flying in a freaking plane. Not to mention, in the past, Rae has also had her songs featured on Netflix shows. Nobody's taught Rae how to do this, at least not directly. She's worked her ass off and continues to do so, not only on her own musical ability, but on her own personal development to sustain and achieve what she knows is rightfully hers. I think that being a musician, and specifically being in rock, metal, and punk, they get a bad connotation for the inevitability of wrecking your body for the music and the lore. But Rae is one of those musicians that's turning the page on that narrative and expectation. And I'm excited for you to hear our conversation of her journey, her toolkit, and her mentality on the topic of self-care as a musician and an artist. I think this is the perfect episode to end 2024 with and to start the new year off because my guest knows how to get shit done, but more importantly, knows how to continually fuel the fucking dream. So I hope you enjoy our conversation and it lights a fire under your own ass to help you get started and materialize your own dream. Welcome back to Tomcat Radio. I'm so fucking excited today for who I have on the podcast. In the studio, first time we're doing this in the studio, Rae from Rosecoloredworld. Welcome to Tomcat Radio, dude.
What up, dude? It's good to be here.
It's so good to have you here. I know I've probably already told you this like 5,000 million times, but when I originally was really thinking about, okay, Tomcat Radio, who do I want to have come on to the podcast? Like the archetype of you, the archetype of who you are as like a creative, as a human being in general, and the way that you hustle is exactly who I have like desired to have on this podcast. And then I start going down this rabbit hole of all the things that you've accomplished and will continue to accomplish. And so I'm just so excited that you made the time because you've got a busy ass schedule.
Dude, thank you so much for that intro. I'm like, sheesh, like, I gotta live up to the hype now. No, thank you so much for the kind words. And, I feel really grateful to just be able to take the afternoon and chat and hang out in the studio with you.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. Let's start off by, I guess, truly for those that don't know you, obviously we know your name, Rae. Tell us where you're from, tell us where you live, and tell us what you freaking do.
So my name is Rae. I am the front woman of a rock band called Rosecoloredworld, based out of Los Angeles, and I am originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I moved here a little more than 7 years ago, and since moving here, this year we got a record deal with Velocity Records and Equal Vision Records, and we did a really sick summer tour and are about to go out this fall. So it's been super busy and exciting, and it's very weird to see dreams you've had for a long time like actualize, and I feel super thankful, super thankful.
And which first off, shout out to the fellow Florida babe, Ayo.
Hey,
as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh my God.
Dude, when I found out you were from Florida when we first met, and also I have a best friend named Kat from Naples who did solar. Oh, shout out Kat Ross.
Shout out Kat.
Yeah, and when I met you, I was like, this is like a trippy timeline jump right now. Like I was geeking out when I met you. And there's certain things like breathing before, like she would do stuff like that. Aww. Like I'm like, you guys are gonna meet one day and I'm gonna freak out.
Can't wait to meet you, Kat. I'm so glad there's a West Coast one, East Coast one, and then we'll all combine into an amazing force of
nature.
Cats and Rae.
Two cats and a Rae.
Sorry, Addison, but we're coming for a second. We're gonna make a second band. So sorry, you guys.
Two cats, one Rae.
I'm fucking Bob. We'll flesh that one out later.
Yeah, later. Totally. For sure. But yeah, it's been a fucking journey, coming from the East Coast to the West Coast. When I first moved here, I had zero plan, truly. And I lived on a blow up mattress, and all of the furniture in my room was blow up. Like literally everything. For like months, for like at least 3 months. And then I moved into the house that I'm currently still in Glendale.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So you've been there. So has it been 7 years that you've been here in LA?
I just hit 7 years. Yeah, which is crazy.
Does it feel like 7 years?
Most days, no.
Yeah.
Most days, like I feel like the magic of when I first got here, which is really sick to still kind of live in that electricity of it all.
Yeah.
But when I think back to like the first weeks here on the blow up furniture, I'm like, okay, we've come a long way. We've done some things, and super thankful for all of it.
You said that you had no plan coming into LA, which also you totally make me think of like when I first got to LA, because I literally had like a blow up mattress and
yes, girl.
And like that was,
and look at us now, sitting here talking to each other.
Totally.
Yeah. So this was like the rise of Instagram at the time, and I was posting a lot of covers on there. Okay. So I was getting a lot of messages from people kind of all over the place. And that was really cool, but I didn't want to just like do cover songs on the internet my whole life. And so it was like a weird balance of like, oh, wow, people are hitting me up. And then again, I went to go see my best friend, Kat, in San Francisco. She was working for a solar energy company. And we went to Burning Man in 2016. We like had a time. I like just spent a lot of time out there and going to San Jose and like seeing just like the rise of all these apps and culture. It felt like a renaissance. I was like, I need to be on the West Coast. Like I felt it. I was like, I don't know what's here for me, but definitely not where I'm from. Like I need to get out here.
Yeah.
And
did you always feel like you were like you wanted to get out of Fort Lauderdale, or were you kind of like wherever?
No, I always knew I didn't want to stay where I was. I didn't necessarily know like the location, but I knew I didn't want to stay where I was. I always felt like an alien.
Yeah.
Like a complete alien. Like I'm like writing my silly little songs and people are like going to be a doctor or lawyer or a teacher, like, traditional paths, which are sick like the world needs them. I love that for them.
Totally.
It just wasn't like what I felt like I wanted to do. I wanted to write my songs and make videos, and like, you know, I was just very passionate about the art always. It was like the only thing that kind of made me excited, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to figure it out. And every day I still am, you know?
Yeah, totally. And like that's what we were just talking about before we hopped onto the podcast, right? Is like each level that we climb comes a new skill set that we also have to bring on. And just because you reach that one dream and then there's like the next milestone, like shit doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, I think the illusion we all have is like that when we finally make it, which like what the fuck is it? It's just a constant becoming, and that's what we don't realize. Like you're never ever gonna reach the carrot. It's like it's just the proverbial carrot that we're constantly chasing, and it's like actually the second you stop is the second where everything starts to fall into place. Not stop action and like, you know, your dream or whatever it is you're doing, but stop chasing something that is could already be there, you know, if you let it go. But yeah, I feel like that was a big thing for me in this whole thing, was being super thankful and grateful for exactly where I am and what I have, from the small things to the big things, and then allowing that feeling to really expand. And just focusing on that and allowing the good to get better. And so many people, like, you know, you're like, well, I only have this amount of money in my bank account and I only have this. And we get like caught in like chasing that squirrel down the rabbit hole. And I just am like, the second I had that shift, I was like, things started actually getting better and things started moving, the good. And then I had more things to be excited about, you know?
Yeah. Would you say it's very, I mean, I don't feel like, to anyone that's listening and is just meeting you virtually for the first time, I think it's obvious that you have your own spiritual practice and toolkit that helps you keep grounded and leveled out. And I remember you talking too about you do open pages. Is that what they're
the morning pages.
Yeah. Tell me about that practice, because I remember like reading about that post that you had made, and you talked about how it's helped you as a creative.
Yeah. So there's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and that book was very influential to me a couple years ago when I was kind of rediscovering creativity for the band, creativity for myself, like where I wanted to draw inspiration from. And in this book, she talks about the morning pages, which is just like waking up every day, no matter how you feel, and just jotting whatever down, whether it's about your coffee or your childhood trauma or what's making you angry or a poem, like just allowing yourself to not judge it and sit and write. And I feel like it opened a vault of just like, it was a sense of freedom that I had never really experienced before. And it did, it's just like when I get to burn through all of the ickiness or whatever's going on before I talk to any other human being, it usually helps the day. You know, it's like just to like give yourself the time to do that. Even if like I don't get to it right in the morning, I try even in the afternoon or before I go to sleep, just to like burn through whatever might be subconsciously there.
That's great licensing. I feel like that you just gave me personally, because I hear like the morning pages and I'm like, yes, we're gonna write in this journal, like we're gonna do it. And I'm like,
do it.
Fuck, it's not the morning anymore. We're not called the afternoon pages. It's the fucking morning. So I needed actually that licensing for you to even just,
dude,
like,
I got you.
Afternoon, evening,
and you know, we're human. So it's like, just because you skip a day doesn't mean, oh, the practice is out the window. We don't need this anymore. I'm the worst. I'm not enough. I can't do anything. And then you go to, it's like, no, that's the opposite of it's like, you know, you got to feel into it. It takes, I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza as well.
Ooh,
like he's got the book Becoming Supernatural. Like I love, shout out Joe Dispenza.
Shout out Joe. When you're watching, not if you're watching.
Yes, when you're watching, man. But, you know, talking about the power of intention, the power of being present. Yeah, I mean, he really shows that there's a connectivity in your neural pathways, that if you can rewire and fire your DNA to be in the receiving mode for everything that you want. And I think anybody can have access to it, but we get in our own way.
Totally. And you had just shared a great story with me about your song Hanging by a Thread, which I love. I'm trying hard. I mean, to be authentic and like, when a curse word comes out. But so my Nana can know this. I love that song and literally have been jamming it ever since it came out in June.
Yes.
Right.
It came out the first day of tour. We went out with The Dangerous Summer, and it was like the first day, kicked off the tour, released the song, and it felt like, all right, this is like a new chapter.
Yeah. Tell us about the
creation,
the conception of that song. Yeah.
So I love working out in my house because it's like the nicest judgment-free zone, and I'll put on a big t-shirt and just do some HIIT training or whatever to keep my stamina up for the road. And as I was like putting the mat down, like the melody hit me, like dun 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 dun. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Is that something? And I was trying to place it for a while. So I opened my back door, I got my voice memo thing out, I started singing into it, grabbed my journal, just it all kind of started flowing for at least the hooks, recorded it. And then later that night, Addison and I were out gallivanting around LA on a whole little adventure. And before we got to my car, I was like, do you want to hear this thing that I wrote today? I don't know if it's any good. And he totally got it. And we recorded a bit of it that night, and we finished it within the next few days, and then left the bridge open and sent it to Tom Denny. So Tom Denny co-founded the band A Day to Remember. And
mic drop.
Yeah, crazy. So that was like one of the first hardcore bands I ever got into. They're Florida, like hometown heroes. Yeah. So, that was like a huge thing. So the fact that he even liked the song was insane. And then he worked on it, co-produced it with us, and now it's out in the world. So
I mean, when that song starts off, like literally this morning, which one did I start off listening to? I think it was, actually I did start off by listening to that like probably 10 times. Then I was like, let's switch to another song, because let's not just beat the hell out of this poor song. But when it comes back in, like immediately it's just like, it takes me back when I was saying earlier of how like you, Rose Colored World, like the music that you guys produce takes me to my inner child, but it's like inner child of today as well. And like if Warped Tour was still going on, like I'd be running to the front to see y'all at Warped Tour, because y'all would be
Warped Tour 2025 is coming back.
No.
It is. It is coming back. It just got announced. I know. I think right now it did just get announced. I don't know who is on it yet. It's going to be a next summer thing.
Okay, so you can't be president. We got to put you on Warped Tour. Like she's too busy.
Kevin Lyman's too. He's still involved. Who did the original Warped Tour, but it is also going to be Live Nation. So we'll see. How it changes with that changeover. But really excited to see who's on it, and really excited to be making this music at a time where that's coming back.
Oh my God, I'm
crazy! I know, dude. I know. And also, thank you for the kind words. But I really do try to write for my 12-year-old self always.
Yeah.
Like, what did I need to hear? What do I still need to hear? What am I still thinking about when I was still, then having those thoughts, and really writing about the human condition, because we like to like draw these lines that we're so different from one another. And like when we're dealing with our shit, we're like, we feel very isolated. We feel very lonely. We feel like we're the only human beings that have ever felt this feeling ever. And then we realize like we all are not safe from the human condition of feeling grief, loss, happiness, all of the things. And so the second I was just like, I'm going to write about that shit, but I'm also going to rock the fuck out. Yes. So like, we're going to be like crying in the mosh pit, instead of crying in the club, we're crying in the pit, Dude, we're swinging, but we're also very emotional.
That's gotta be a fucking shirt. That's so
sobbing in the pit.
Good. Hoodie, t-shirt. I'll wear it all. I'll wear it all. And that's like something that I noticed that with watching your music videos, which I enjoy every single one of them.
Thank you.
I think it was 27 specifically
that stuck out to me. And at the end of it, you have I mean, you can tell when you're listening to your songs, which are beautifully lyrically written, but you can tell that it's like support. Like I feel a lot of like support is one of the words besides like rocking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like support is a word that comes to my mind when I think of your music. And at the end of that music video, you do have like a
Like
reminder for resources, which I think is really beautiful. And you can tell like it seems very important to your band to like provide those resources, not just through your music, but also like outside of the music too, which I feel like is very beautiful.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I feel like, you know, going off of what you said, it is okay to not be okay. And I can say that because I've spent many, many times not being that and have seen like the light on the other side, which is why I don't run away from that lyrically or like in anything that I create. But something I did want to leave here is a rose-colored world, which was like where the name of the band kind of came from, was like anywhere where someone will allow us to have a set or a song or whatever for those minutes. Like we're not thinking about the bills and the bullshit and the things that stress us out. We're suspended in the present to just feel.
Yeah.
Without judgment, from all walks of life. If you want to be in that space and feel, you have permission and you're safe here. Yeah. And so it's like we're trying to, you know, not trying, like we've played over 30 shows and we have a bunch more this fall, like it's this year alone. And it's like things are moving, but seeing what happens to the room, like from the beginning to the set to after, like we're a room full of strangers to like now we're homies in this shared experience is really crazy. And the fact that someone gives me a microphone ever to do it and have the power to change the vibration of a space is fucking nuts.
What are your first memories with music? Like what built the musician that you are today? What's that foundation look like?
First memories ever. So my dad plays drums. My dad's been a drummer my entire life. He's played drums since he's 8. So very, very long time. Yeah. I grew up coming with my dad to a lot of like dive bar gigs and watching him play while I ate chicken fingers and french fries and just like talked to everybody. And I loved the community that it was. It was like every time he played, a lot of times he would play in Pompano Beach in Florida on the actual wharf, like on the pier. And they had the restaurant and like everyone was always dancing and in a good mood. And every Sunday, no matter what, for those hours, people were just rocking out and having a good time. And I was like, this is the shit. I'm like, this is like, why would you want to do anything else? You're in the sun with your besties or with your family, playing music, smiling, drinking, eating. Like, I was like, this is the life. Heaven. And so that was super inspiring. But because I came from, my dad plays rock music, covers the Beatles, you know, the Doors, the Stones. Because I came from rock, I ran as far away from it at the beginning as possible, at the very beginning. Because I was like, I don't want to be this, you know. But I was exposed to a lot of it and liked most of it. Yeah. I just was like, you know, I experimented with different bands. But then when I found like alt rock, pop punk, I was like, oh, this is that. But now... And like, you know, they look like they're my age. And I was like, this is sick. And I totally fell in love with the culture.
Would that be like, what time would that be that you found like?
I was in 7th grade.
Middle school, the good
7th grade. I switched middle schools in the middle of middle school. Switched counties, didn't know anybody at the beginning. Like, it was a very hard year.
Yeah.
I also, there's a lot that came with that, but I feel like the songs I found during that time, the rest of middle school through high school, like truly changed the trajectory of my life and saved my life.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Sum 41 on the bus, you know, and hearing with me and hearing, you know, all of these, the lyrics really spoke to me and made me feel less alone. And then I was like, and then it almost was like all these bands somehow were like spying on me and were like knowing exactly how I felt and was writing about it. And so that was always something that I wanted to one day be able to do. Yeah. And it's cool to see it kind of come full circle.
And you guys opened for
Sum 41. Yeah, we did. We actually just saw them last week at the YouTube Theater. It was their last LA show because they're they're done. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, for the foreseeable future. But I mean, I cried during that too. But yeah, we got to open for them at the Music Box in San Diego, sold out at the beginning of the year in January. And what an amazing band. They're so tight. They're such great guys.
Yeah.
Like being side stage and just watching how they moved, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Blown
Oh my
away.
God. Like I'm sure it's hard to even put like a word on the emotions that you were feeling on stage before Sum 41. But what can you even sum it up? Like, what would that word even be?
Phenomenal. I mean, it was one of the best days of my life for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like sound check, watching Derek sound check, and of course he sound checked with the song that like the one that like really made me feel less alone, and so he's like just standing there with an acoustic guitar singing, and I'm like, wait, and I'm sharing with like I'm playing in front of them. I was so trippy, man. It was so fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
Very thankful.
I bet. I freaking bet. That's so sick. How many years has it been since you and Addison founded Rose Colored World?
So right before COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great shit that came out of the incubation of COVID. I mean, obviously, like
right, a lot of terrible shit, right?
Yeah,
but then I
totally.
mean, if we know that history repeats itself, which it does,
Mm-hmm.
in 1919 you had the Spanish flu, and then what came after 1919 was the Roaring 20s. You had all of this art and music and fashion and culture.
Yeah.
And so I think out of almost every tragedy or like chaotic global trauma bonding event, you have a birth of things that are new. And I feel very thankful to exist in a time where I get to be this creative, and I had the space to kind of roam around to figure out what I wanted to create when the world healed. And in that time, Addison and I really found it. We really found it. And I remember us finding it and then writing another song that sounded like it. For a long time, we were writing songs that we loved, but they all kind of sounded like they couldn't fit together. Like they were like, that's cool. And I like that. But I like the same thing, and it was like, we just started going and writing a whole batch of songs that all sounded like they could be cohesive. And that's when we got excited. When we started releasing them during lockdown, we were just like, let's make everything ourselves. Let's produce everything ourselves, write everything. Let's shoot everything ourselves and be fully insulated so we can just keep putting art into the world.
Yeah.
Kind of like towards the end and throughout. And now we're here. It's crazy.
Yeah. So would you say that not secrets, but one of the ways to getting towards putting together an album, somebody that's like in the beginning stages of that, would you say the recommendation would be to just keep creating?
Keep writing songs. I think the best songs should win.
Yeah.
But if you don't have them written, you can't pick them.
Oh, amen.
Like you gotta just write to write. And sometimes it's hard to get out of your own way because you're like, how is this gonna fit? And how is this gonna make sense? And I don't really think about that. Like I just write as many songs that can come out of me as possible. That feels good. And sometimes I'll rework that. I'll cut something like Cold Day in Hell. We rewrote the verses, I think, like 4 times.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, this hook is so good, but the verses suck. Like it was just like, it just wasn't doing the thing. And then when we got it. But just write, create, enjoy creating, have fun creating.
Yeah.
And then slowly I think you'll start to see, oh, there's a pattern here, or a theme or something bigger. And some people don't write like that. Some people go in and they're like, this is the theme of the record and this is what I want everything to be around. And there's no like wrong way to do it, but that's kind of my process. It's just writing.
I think that's something that's important to remember as a creative is finding your own way, and that can easily change and fluctuate as time goes on, as you grow as an artist, as you grow as a human being. When do you know that a song is done?
I don't know if a song is ever done.
Yeah.
I think you just get to a point where you're like, when you feel in yourself that maybe touching it would cause more harm than good. Like when you're like, okay, I've brought it to the point, or when you start, for me, it's like when I start making moves that like just feel like, girl, do less. Like, you know, when I start feeling that, I'm like, put it down. It's done. You know, you don't want to overproduce anything or over compensate, but it's a hard dance, you know, because you could work on something kind of forever, and so you got to just get to a point where you're happy with it and let it live in the world. That was a really hard lesson at the beginning, because I was like, well, I don't know if it's perfect, or I don't know if I like that synth, and you just kind of got there's hundreds of songs that can be birthed if you allow them to. Obviously, you know, you want to treat it with care, but also if it's not resonating with you, don't shine shit, write something else.
It's 4 members in your band, but you and Addison are the front runners of the show. I love watching the dynamic of you and Addison both on stage and off stage. And you guys met in Hollywood.
We met in Hollywood, which is insane. Typical, like not typical, but yeah, we met in Hollywood at Sassafras when the night Tom Petty passed away. At a jam that Zach, shout out Wavy Trees, Zach Smith. We were driving together to the show, and he invited me, and I had a blowout on the 101. He changed my tire. I didn't want to go to the show after, or like go see anybody, because I was kind of like had a day, and he was like, let's go. We're almost there. And we went, and I met Addison. So super thankful for all of it and finally getting there. But yeah, we met in Hollywood, and a couple days after we met, we started writing together, and we were writing for each other's solo projects for a really long time until we were like, what are we doing? I got booked to play a birthday in Venice Beach at like a backyard show. And at the time, usually when I played live, I would play keys, and it would just be like me and my keys everywhere. And I was like, I don't want to just play me and my keys. Like, do you want to play with me? And he was like, yeah, that'd be really fun. So we did a few songs in this backyard, and everyone went bananas, and they're like, what are you guys called? And that was the first time I was like, what are you guys called? You guys, that's cool. That's really interesting. Like that could be way more fun than it being like in the ego, like this song is yours and this song is mine. And you know, it was like, let's just make something together.
So the universe came on and was like, yo, it's enough of this like individual. We gotta bring
we're bringing it all, making a band.
They're getting the band together. That sometimes for me, it is definitely a necessity for my partner to be creative. Like it just, and I'm obviously the same for you as well.
The funniest part about this is I never, ever, ever, ever dated an artist ever, or a creative person.
Really?
Yep. I was actually like trying to be set on, like, well, I want someone that's more traditional and someone that could kind of anchor me back down when and then I realized like it's just a whole different way of life.
Oh, I bet.
Completely. And so,
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's so like what a 180 to go from not with like a creative to like I'm literally building like
everything
this beautiful.
The whole thing, like sicko mode.
That's an Aries trait if ever. It's like in the most beautiful fucking way.
I was like, I don't want this at all. I want everything. Blaze it up.
Light this baby on. It almost can be like intimidating to create with a partner. We're humans, and I don't want to speak with all artists, but you know, I get a little sensitive sometimes. Like I don't want I don't want like feedback. Do you guys kind of have like I don't want to call it boundaries, but does that make sense? Like
yeah. I think it takes a long time, no matter like who you're creating with at all in any type of collaboration, to like feel out the process that works the best, and to also understand how each create individually and then create together, and like what I need in the space to be successful and what he needs. And like, that takes a long time and many songs and many days and many weeks of creating and kind of throwing yourself into the fire and seeing what works, what doesn't work. I've realized for me, like if I just write something, typically I'm incredibly excited because something just was like created, was birthed. I'm like, holy shit, this just came out. And I've learned to say, hey, right now, I just want like your partner ears on this. I don't want your Like, don't tell me we should change the hook and the verse and the this. Don't pick it apart. I just want you to be happy that I was sad today.
Yeah.
And I expressed myself.
That was exactly the question, and exactly
like, just be happy.
answer.
And then later, after like, I've simmered
Yeah.
from the high of what I created, then we can start to like actually technically pull it apart or see what we feel about it,
Yeah.
because sometimes I just want you to be happy that something came out and I wasn't destructive with whatever I was feeling.
Totally. You're like, I'm asking for advice, but like not that type of advice
Well,
right
like
now,
not that at all. Just say it's great.
Yeah, totally. I want you to kiss me on the forehead.
Right. Just say good job, and then later
tell me I'm pretty and tell me this song is fucking amazing.
Right, and then later we can do the opposite.
Do you feel like when you guys are on stage rocking it out together, do you feel like you're both in like bandmate role? Are you guys like in lover role sometimes? Does it like combine?
I think when we're on stage, and this is something that like is very special, on and off stage, on and off creating, there is some type of like Bluetooth connection that Addison and I have shared since the beginning. Addison and I do have some type of weird mystical Bluetooth connection that I can't fully understand still.
Yeah.
But even when we're producing, I'll like go to tell him to pull up a plugin and like, I want my voice to kind of sound like this right here. And as I'm saying it, he's pulling it up to do the same thing that I'm already like. And that happens a lot of the times on stage.
Yeah.
We have like, sometimes I'm having a full conversation. We're in the middle of performing, which is like wild. Either way of like, hey, I need you to do this verse, or I need this, or my batteries might die, whatever it is. I feel like we're very cued in. I feel like it's just the frequency of joy, truly, of getting to do what we both love to do. And it's really wild rocking out and then looking at him being like, wow, the person I care about so much is also rocking out and doing what they love, vice versa. And then that feedback loop is then going outward. And then people are like, I don't know if they're brother and sister, if they're dating, if they just like really are great, but there's something that I like it. And people will move and have a good time.
Okay, going back to on stage, life on stage. Let's talk about life on tour, because you guys went on tour.
Yeah.
Saw you at one of your stops. So good. I think literally just, I was like a happy little dog, just like, yeah.
I'm so glad you were there.
So good. Of course. How was tour? Was this the first tour for Rose Colored World?
So we had done a DIY tour in 2022,
Okay.
Minivan tour, and it was way shorter. It was like, 10 days or something like that. This was about 6 weeks. This was like a proper US, did even a Canada date tour, which was epic. We got to be in an RV, and it was me, Addison, Luke on drums, Dakota on bass, our good friend Sam doing content, and my dad as the tour manager driver for this one, which was so cool to have him on the road for the first one.
Oh my God.
This next one in fall, it's 2-ish weeks. And he's not going to come out with us on this, but it was really special having him on the first like legit national tour.
Like, talk about a dream come true for him to see his
cool.
daughter on stage. Your dad, obviously, like you being the musician that you are, was already like a dream for him, but to drive the fucking,
he loved it. He loved everything about tour as a driver except being the driver.
Okay.
No, I mean, it was so many dude, it was so many hours, and it was that big bus, and
it's a big, I can't
he was
enough.
Yeah,
I'm not
he was having caffeine pills and also Starbuckses, and I mean, it was like caffeine overload. Shout out, thank you, Dad, for doing all that for us. We made it to every show. We didn't miss one. We all were relatively healthy, like we all were able to be on stage every night. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for that. It was so rad. It was so much fun. We were like the Brady Bunch on that thing. It was epic. And
the pup too. You had
and we had Mark with us, our little pup. The man.
I love him. And like the fact that his name is Mark.
He's a little man in there.
He holds it down. No, he's a man of the house.
He's a man of something for sure.
He's his own little happy world.
And we went out with the Dangerous Summer, and those guys, shout out Dangerous Summer, AJ, all of you. What a fucking band. They're so talented. They're like the emo kings of Leon. Yeah. And so like, and like, just like watching them every night, watching AJ do his thing. I don't even really play bass. And when I came home from tour, I picked up a bass and wrote a song because I was like so inspired from watching him every night play. I was like, I could do that. Like, and very storytelling. And yeah, it's actually going to be one of the ballads for the record. It's like, it just kind of came out and I was like, thank you for the inspiration.
Sick. What would you say to somebody that is like about to go on tour? What are like the 3 to 5 things you need on tour for a successful tour?
Things I need on tour. Number 1, throat coat tea. Because that shit saved my voice and I love it. I also love the way it tastes now. Number 2, my humidifier, because I also for my voice, because my instrument's in my body. It's a different responsibility. It's very weird. Number 3, a really cozy hoodie. At least one cozy hoodie.
Goodie.
Because even in this, like, there's just times you want to just be like snug and wherever you're at. And it like kind of just puts you, at least it puts me in a space. 4 headphones. Because sometimes you don't want to hear everybody else's things. And for me, it really keeps me sane being able to constantly discover new music and be tapped in that way. And the 5th one would be my journal because I still journaled almost every morning on the road.
Good for you. On tour too. Like it seems like tour is like running continuous marathons.
It is. You're sprinting a marathon for the whole thing. Yeah. But I'm a sicko and right now I love it. Yeah. I love being in new places. I love not knowing where I am and getting a gas station coffee. Yeah. I love talking to Donna from Chicago that I met on the corner. Like, I love it all. I love like singing in front of people and becoming close with my band and making silly goose jokes all day. Like, it's really a great time, even though you're just chronically exhausted. Yeah. But I think being an adult to a degree is you're chronically exhausted. So I'm like, at least I get to do something fun.
You'd totally be out on stage having a damn good time. Yeah. With your main instrument being in your body, your throat, have you always been like, I gotta make sure that this is my temple? Like, have you always treated your body like a temple? Because obviously, like, the world of rock and roll, and I feel like being in Hollywood, it's like also going into the Viper Room. Like, I just want to chain smoke cigarettes like all night long. Yeah. So what's your health journey been like?
It's been very full circle. Yeah. When I first started and knew I was gonna like do music, I really didn't do anything to get in the way of getting into college for my voice. That was my whole thing. And almost like everybody in our friend group gave me grace of like, oh no, bro, she sings, like she can't smoke that or she can't do that. And I really was surrounded by like a lot of like the OG high school friends that kind of always knew like, oh, she's going to do that. Like, you know, and that was really reaffirming. I wasn't really made fun of. Granted, I wasn't like necessarily always with like the coolest of kids. I was with my pack that I loved and that I got rowdy with, and they were really cool about not pressuring me into doing anything like that. Then I hit college. Yeah. And I had a wild 4 years because I was so disciplined and obedient to like take care of myself. Yeah. I kind of went the polar opposite.
This was at FSU?
Yeah, I went to Florida State.
Oh, dude.
And somehow I graduated.
Some of the worst hangovers I've literally had in my life were at FSU.
I was drinking every day.
Every day. What do you do at FSU? What the hell? Yeah.
Sickos, all of us, fucking freaks. But we would drink and go out, and then I'd somehow like be an Italian at 8 a.m. the next day. So I was just also chronically exhausted. You know, part of a philanthropy. I was part of a sorority for a bit, you know, like
oh no shit.
Yeah, like I was kind of part of everything, you know, which by the way, like in my sorority experience, for the most part, there was quite a few really rad benefits that I got from it. Like, I feel like because I always grew up with the band boys and like hung out in that space, like I became a real girl. No, really though. I feel like I was like, I got to like learn and like kind of come into my femininity, which was really beautiful and made me feel very safe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would say the same thing of like, I never anticipated, I wasn't in my sorority for like my entire like
Oh, that's awesome.
collegiate time, but I so resonate with like being in a group of women, like a sisterhood, however, like you want to call it cheesy, like what the fuck ever. But there is something like very fulfilling and beautiful that is, especially too, like when you can kind of go towards like the tomboyish side of life as like a woman, it does feel very refreshing to be like, oh my gosh, sisters, like this is like there's something like really beautiful about that.
it was a cool time, and then they all started coming out to the shows that I was playing, and it was super fun. And then, you know, you got a bunch of sorority chicks and a bunch of frat dudes all having a time, and all of a sudden the shows were packed and we were having a good time. You know, it's great memory. So anyway, I partied a lot in college, and then when I was coming out here, I partied a lot at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I had a few conversations. One was with my uncle, one was with my mom, one was with Addison.
Yeah.
Started kind of having these conscious conversations of like, if I really want to do this thing and I want to have longevity, I got to treat my body differently. I have to think differently. I have to take care of myself, and it's a different responsibility. And that's started working out a lot. I was pescatarian for like 5.5 years. You know, I just recently started introducing other things into my diet, but just taking it seriously, drinking a lot of water, not really drinking that much, like on occasion here and there, but I really have a good relationship with it. When I first got here, and for a really long time, I was the polar opposite. So yeah, I came full circle, and I feel really grateful for the relationship I have with substances and with my diet and my body at this time of my life.
I'm not trying to like ever glorify, you know, alcohol, weed, yada, 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 yada. But there are beautiful conversations that come from when people can let their walls down. However, right, that should not be the only time that those walls come down. And chasing that dragon, obviously, we don't have to go into like what are the negatives of that situation, but especially in Hollywood, especially like
when I first got here, I was like, sure, said yes to everything.
Yeah, yes,
anything,
yes, woman,
everything, gypsy soul. And you know, I constantly have to check in with that of like, I can feel childlike joy and freedom without equating that to a substance.
Yeah.
And I get to have access to that on stage, and I get to have access to that even on a walk if I want to have access to that. It's like, it doesn't have to be limited to like that programming or like what society shows us, that it's like, you know, every commercial is a beer commercial or you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But I also don't like, for my specific, the way I think about everything is like, I don't like to limit myself, because when I put, if I lock the barn door, like a horse in a stable, if you lock it, the horse constantly wants to like break out. But when I keep the door open, I really, really want to.
Yeah,
it's like I might go get a flower here and there. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, all right, but
little carrot there, little carrot here.
But it's like, but when it's locked, I have this thing where I'm like, I constantly feel like I have to break out of it, and that's not healthy for me.
I remember like where we were, but like having that conversation with you was like very grounding to me, and like finding that balance, and of a balance which I'm sure is a ongoing balance, maybe until you reach a certain age. But and with what you were talking about too, of the conversations that you're having with your mom, with like Addison, about if you're wanting to reach a certain point, aliens come down and they're like, yo, you wanted us.
I'm like, beat me up.
She's got a great tracks coming up there. You guys do not have Hanging by a Thread up there, so let us bring it up to you. Like, wait, just not yet. But I like the point that you bring up, though, because I feel like this has been something that I've been ruminating on, of when you want to get to a certain level and stay at that level, it does require you to, even with, you know, smoking weed, well, I'm not going to stop smoking weed. I do very much tailor it to make sure that I just would hate to look at the movie reel of my life and been like, girl, we could have just gone with one joint and you could have been getting to that point that you want to. And we did talk about, right, like, what, there's no making it, there is no concept of like you've reached it, but
it's maximizing though, like your full potential. You don't want anything to be holding you back. It's finding that balance. It's constantly reflecting, constantly asking yourself the question, having radical self-awareness, which most people don't want to have because they're terrified of it, which is then in turn they do more, and then the vicious cycle of not wanting to look in the mirror. But if you're constantly checking in with yourself and you have that self-awareness, you can kind of, at least for me, like, you know, on tour, I really didn't drink much. And then we had an off day in New Orleans. Yeah. And I'm like, we have an off day in New Orleans. Like, I'm going to have a couple drinks, right? It's like, cool. But then I don't need the next day when I'm like, you know, playing Canada for the first time. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm having fun until, you know, maybe the next off day, or maybe not. You know, it just really feeling into it and having the self-awareness and the courage to have the conversation with yourself of like, where is this coming from?
I don't want to stop this conversation because we could literally go on for like 3 more hours. I definitely want to have you back with Addison to talk to both of you guys.
Yeah, I would love that.
Fucking love Addison too. East Coaster. I mean, New Yorker, right?
Yeah. Long Island over here.
Dude, what is New Yorker accent?
He always is like, he's like, I have an accent. And I'm like, the fact that you can't hear it is amazing. Because like sometimes he talks and I'm like, it's like he never left. He's been here 10 years.
And he still can't leave it.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
You take the guy out of New York.
Oh, but you can't take New York out of that.
Couldn't possibly.
Wouldn't want to, too. Wouldn't want to. Well, I definitely want to have you guys back. Where can we find you?
Rose Color World on TikTok, at RCW Official on Instagram. And if you type Rose Color World in wherever you stream music, you can hear us. And we hope you enjoy what you hear.
Dope. As which you totally will. I can rest assured say that. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, dude.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast or share with a fellow homie. Big thanks to Haas Music for the intro and outro music. Hit him up for all your music needs. Until next time, Cool Cat.